So let me just give it raw. The reason why you're in the position that you're in is because of you, my friend. You're not adhering to your responsibilities, and in turn, she's had to take a lot of the responsibilities on, and it's put her in her masculine. Gonna give it to you raw. You're a fucking bum right now, straight up. $30,000 a year is unacceptable in Connecticut, especially to raise a family in the area that you're in. And you just have to make more money. You know, all of these problems stem from your inadequacy to be a man, and that's why she's responding the way that she's responding. So I have to put the onus on the man. Now, does she have some things that she has to work on as well? Of course. But a lot of the things that she's doing, chasing her career, trying to move out of the military, thinking long-term with her pension and her retirement, etc., these are all masculine traits that she's had to take on because you're not adequate right now, period. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. So the onus is on the man. Because you're the leader, you're the protector, you're the provider. And right now, the reason why she doesn't want to give up her career is, quite frankly, she doesn't trust you for her long-term security. She just doesn't. Yeah. So this is all your fault, dude. 100%.
Now, to be fair, I am happy to see that Fresh and Fit also do hold men accountable. It's sort of refreshing to see that they are not only talking to women and holding women to a rightful standard, but they're also talking to men and telling men where they're falling short. Now, that is a beautiful thing. However, Fresh and Fit seem to be wrong on this one as well, because they, as well as other red pill commentators and influencers, if you will, push the same narrative that a man's job is to provide and protect. Now, normally, I wouldn't have a problem with this because I don't have a problem with men providing or protecting women. However, when it comes to the 21st century, and the Western world, that is a stupid strategy if you want to save your resources and if you don't want to get screwed over in the future. Now, I think this for two reasons. The first reason is this. Women are supposed to provide and protect as well. I know that sounds shocking, but it's kind of sad that people in the red pill space don't ever mention this because they don't even think in this direction. To them, this is not supposed to be a thing. But women are supposed to be ready to die for their husbands. There is absolutely no reason why you should be willing to give up your life for a woman that's not willing to give up her life for you. That doesn't make any sense. Because that would just conclude the reason why it's okay for your life to be disposable and has to be precious. And if women do not see you as a precious individual, they're not going to respect you. If women think that you are their bodyguard and you're there to die for them so they can survive and live on, then automatically your life is worthless compared to theirs. It's a very simple logic. There's a reason why the president doesn't die for the bodyguards. Instead, the bodyguards die for the president. Because the president is more important, ergo, his life matters more. But somehow we preach this notion to men to keep them disposable, that somehow they are supposed to provide and protect. Protecting means potentially die for the woman. And that is a fallacy. Not as much as it's a bad idea to protect your wife, but it's that you shouldn't be protecting a woman that is not prepared to catch a case or die for you. If she's prepared to catch a case, die for you, or at least if she pays you dangerous pay in case you die, then okay, do the same. Go out there and jump off a cliff to save her if you need to do that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. The problem is women think themselves more precious and men reinforce that narrative and keep themselves where they are. So that's the first problem with the argument. The second problem with the argument is this. What the fuck are you providing for women that can make their own fucking money? And this goes down to the problem with the red pill movement, whereby they solely base men in the very plantation that men were wroth. Men were put into this plantation by the narrative that they have to provide resources. The reason why feminism is booming now, the reason why all this anti-male speech is here, and the reason why all this anti-male rhetoric is all over the place, is not because people just hate men. No, it's because certain powers that control infrastructure, industries, and societies want men indentured to the land. They want men to be there to build and to give their lives for the state in terms of war. And so they do everything to set up that narrative. What do they do? Because they know women are not as capable of resource building as men. They put men in a situation where men cannot live a normal life unless they work way harder than they're supposed to. That's why all these people push this narrative whereby men stay behind, women go first. Because they want to reinforce the narrative that your life is way less valuable than a woman's life. And therefore, you have to work harder to get the girl. You have to sacrifice to get the girl. You have to make this amount of money to get the girl. That's why all of Hollywood keeps pushing the same narrative that the red pill are so-called preaching against. But they're not preaching against it when they're telling you to do the very same thing that you're not supposed to be doing in the first place. They're telling you to provide for a woman that don't give two fucks about you, that would fuck your friend and cheat on you and take half your shit. Why? Because the system understands that if they can get you into a relationship with a woman whereby you are married to this woman and you're making significantly more than this woman, they can get the woman to siphon resources away from you into the state. Red pill people know this, but somehow they're preaching the exact same message that led men to this situation in the fucking first place. The reason why men are in this situation in the first place is because men decided to take on responsibilities that have nothing to do with them. Men decided to start providing for women that have no need for provision. Men decided to impregnate women that have no need for children. Women whose bloodline shouldn't even be in history books. But because men take it upon their honor to provide and protect, and they live and die by these things, they ended up putting themselves and digging their grave deeper into this philosophy that powers that be reinforce. So the idea of you being masculine, if you provide and protect, is the very plantation that removes all responsibility for women. So women don't really have to provide and protect or do anything in a relationship. They don't even have to work. And isn't it funny that it's only provision that can be liquidated by the state? A woman that is divorced from her husband is not expected to keep cleaning his house, to keep washing his shoes, to keep washing his clothes, to keep sweeping the house. No, there is no sort of governmental restriction on her that indentures her to the house of the man to keep working for the man. But guess what? There are sanctions on the man's freedom. So the man is going to always keep providing money for a woman that is not even working for him anymore. So the woman is not going to be cleaning for him, washing his clothes, doing anything domestic in the house as a stay-at-home mom, but he is going to be expected to keep doing what? To providing our resources to the day she dies. Unless, of course, if he's less rich than she is, and then she now is expected to keep providing him resources to the day she dies. So, if you ask me, it's a better philosophy for a man to go for a woman that is richer than him because he's less likely to pay spousal support in that situation. Now, I covered this before in a previous video, but I'm going to touch on it again. The common stupid argument I keep hearing from the red pill folks is that women do not respect men that don't provide and protect. That is bullshit. Because 90%, maybe 80% of men these days provide for women. But I would argue at least 70% of men are not respected by their wives. The wives boss them around. The wives tell them what to do. The wives nag them. The wives talk down to them. The wives don't respect them. Because respect has nothing to do with your money or your provision or the roles that you're playing. It has nothing to do with none of that shit. And even Fresher Fit have spoken on this before. That's part of the argument Fresher Fit give for not marrying. That there's no benefit to it. Why is there no benefit to it? Because she's not expected to do shit for you. Because if women were expected to work to be with a man, you best believe there'll be benefits to marrying. So, this entire notion of women respecting you because you provide, that she's not respecting you because she has to be in a masculine. First of all, the aura that women take on when they're being bitchy, when they're being annoying, this aggressive aura, is not masculine. There's nothing masculine about aggression. Contrary to popular belief, there's nothing masculine about aggression because aggression is an emotional reaction. Women show way more aggression than men do. The difference is that men are more lethal with their aggression. That's the difference. Women are way more aggressive than men. Women abuse men way more than men abuse women physically. The difference is that when men decide to strike or attack, men are a little bit more lethal when they're aggressive. That's the first thing. Second thing is, even aggressive men, the way they behave and the way women behave are two very different things. And a lot of these women don't copy actual aggression in a positive light. Like when somebody attacks you, how you defend yourself, or how you showcase yourself and market yourself as superior to them for the protection of your life and possibly the life of your family. No, women don't practice that shit. Women practice tyrannical aggression. Okay, these women that are aggressive, they are tyrannically aggressive. They're just being mean, cruel, and mean-spirited. That's it. They're not aggressive in the good sense of the word aggression. They're aggressive in a very toxic sense. And most men don't do that. Most men that are in power understand power and understand that they would gain more if they're benevolent than if they're aggressive tyrants. Men know this because men have had a lot of time to practice this shit. So when people keep equating the fact that women are in their masculine, women are not in their masculine. That's not masculine. There's nothing masculine about that shit. Female aggression is not masculine at all. It's female aggression. Because women be copying the most toxic men they see because that's what turns them on. Now, when I mention women again, let me clarify. I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about a lot of modern day women. There's a lot of women that have this mentality. Okay? So don't come for me in the comment section with that bullshit. But when I keep saying this idea of women in their masculine, she's not in the masculine. She might be in a survival mode, but that's feminine. It's just a more aggressive feminine trait. That's it. So, in summary, it's not the fact that you're making more money than your wife that guarantees you respect or that guarantees you as a good leader. Okay? Amount of money you make doesn't make you a good leader. A good example is Crassus and Julius Caesar. Crassus was the richest man in Rome. Didn't make him a good leader because he fucking died in Parthia with a stupid invasion. On the other hand, Julius Caesar was a way smarter and a way better leader. And so he succeeded way more in Gaul. He did way more than Crassus will ever do. So your money and respect is not the same thing, and they're not really correlated. In fact, they're usually against each other. If people like you because you have money, they don't really respect you. But if people like you regardless of your money, the chances that they really respect you. In fact, people that really respect you will spend money to come see you. So if women really like you and respect you, they don't care how much money they have to spend to come get you. They don't care how much money they have to spend to come see you. They would fly themselves out to come see you. That's what a woman that really treasures you or respects you would do. I know because I've had women do that shit for me. And I'm not the most handsome guy in the world. I am handsome, but I'm not the most handsome guy in the world. So this correlation between respect and financial standing is bollocks. Also, the correlation between masculinity and financial standing is also stupid, especially in the 21st century, especially in the West, where women are incentivized to take you for half your shit. And the reason why it's a dumb idea because the entire system is designed to liquidate you the richer you are. The richer you are in a marriage or the richer you are in a relationship, the more promise you're going to have. Because in a relationship, it's those people with the most money that have the most to lose. So those people with the most money that have the idea of is she about to keep her or is she about to keep him in terms of Adele. Also, and finally, again, I will say this again for the final time. Being a provider does not equate to being a good leader at all. Being a good leader applies to somebody that has a certain behavioral characteristics that allows him to lead properly in certain situations, whether it be in family situations or in a business situation. If you lack those leadership skills, you're not going to be a good leader. It's that simple. Now you would mean that you can take very difficult decisions and they're mostly going to be right. And even if they're wrong, you're ready to take responsibility for your decisions. That's what makes a good leader. Meaning that you understand there's a difference between tyrannical leadership and actual leadership. Meaning that you're not someone that's haughty, easily fled up to high temper. You're more reserved, more cautious of situations, more cautious of your surroundings, more able to come to an agreement when there is conflict. There's a bunch of shit you have to be a good leader. Very few of them has to do with financial. In fact, that's why leaders have what they call financial advisors and other types of advisors. Your wife should be your advisor. But that doesn't mean you have to be making billions of dollars to be leader. If that's the case, then the president of the United States or any other senator out there has to be the richest person in their state. But that is clearly not the case. So, that's enough for today, and I will see you guys later.